Hello, so today we will discuss about the classification of steam boiler. So generally we can classify a steam boiler by different parameters or factor. So there is a many classification. So let's see the classification of steam boiler. Okay, so first one is according to the contents in the tube, means already last class we have seen that there is our simple boiler and this one. So these are the tubes and this we call as a cell. Okay, so already we have seen. So through the tube which things are present like water or hot flue gases. Okay, so on that basis we'll classify this one. So there is a two types according to the content in the tubes, that is fire tube or smoke tube boiler and water tube boiler. Okay, so fire tube means through the tube, if we see this, through the tube there will be flow of flue gas. Okay, flue gas is flowing through the tube and surrounding to the tube there will be our water. Okay, so then we call this as a fire tube or smoke tube, means smoke or hot gases is circulating through the tube and this tube is surrounded by the water, and due to that there will be heat transfer from the tube to the water. As a result, that water will convert to the steam. Okay, so this is our fire tube. On the other hand, if we move for water tube boiler, then there is a circulation of water through the tube and this tube will be surrounded by our flue gas or hot gases. Okay, so then we will be calling this as a water tube boiler. So here if we see that flue gas through the from the combustion chamber is flowing through the tube, so we can say that simple vertical tube boiler is a this is a fire tube boiler. Okay, so fire tube boiler and water tube boiler. Fire tube means fire means flue gases flow through the tube. Water tube means water flow through the tube and surrounded by the flue gases. Okay, so fire tube example, simple vertical boiler, Cochrane boiler, Lancashire boiler, Cornish boiler, locomotive boiler, Scotch marine boiler, etc. There is a many fire tube boiler. Similarly, we have in water tube boiler there is a Wilcox Babcock's boiler, Babcock Wilcox boiler, Starling boiler, Lamont boiler, Benson boiler, and Lofel boiler, etc. Okay, so these are the what example of a water tube boiler. So generally fire tube boiler is used for low capacity because steam generation is low. On the other hand, water tube is used for high capacity because steam generation is high. On the other hand, if we see fire tube boiler can generate steam up to 24.5 bar, means almost we can say it's not that much high pressure, but in water tube we can generate very high pressure. Okay, so these about fire tube and water tube. So next we will see, next classification is according to the position of the furnace, means furnace is inside the boiler or outside the boiler. On that basis there is a classification, and we classify this in two types again. One is internally fired boiler and another is externally fired boiler. So internally means the furnace is present inside the boiler. Furnace is present inside the boiler, then we call this as a internally fired boiler. And if the furnace is present outside the boiler, then we will call this as a externally fired boiler. So internally fired boiler example, almost all kinds of fire tube boiler are internally fired boiler, like Cochrane boiler, Lancashire boiler, etc. And externally fired boilers means all kinds of water tube boilers will be our externally fired tube boiler, means our furnace is located outside the boiler. Okay, so this is our externally fired boiler. So okay, next classification according to the axis of the cell. So again we have two types of classification on that base axis of the cell. One is called vertical tube boiler, vertical, another one is called horizontal tube boiler. Okay, so in vertical tube the axis of the cell is vertical, and in horizontal tube axis of the cell is horizontal. So here if you see that this cell, so this cell axis is vertical. Okay, so we can call this as a vertical tube boiler. Similarly, we if this cell is horizontal, sometimes our cell is looking like this. Okay, and there is a tube like that, so then we will be calling this as a our horizontal tube boiler. Okay, so example of vertical tube boiler, this is our simple vertical tube boiler, Cochrane boiler. On the other hand, if we see for horizontal tube boiler, we'll get Cochrane boiler, Babcock Wilcox boiler, and then Lamont boiler, etc. Okay, now next classification we will see according to the number of tubes, means according how many tubes are there, on that basis that classification is made. And here we have a single tube boiler and multi-tubular steam boiler. Okay, so in single tube means you can think you can imagine that single means only one tube will be there. Okay, only one water tube or fire tube, whatever it is, then we call single tube boiler. It is simple vertical tube boiler and Cornish boiler. On the other hand, multi-tubular means more than one tube will present. It may be fire, it may be water, whatever it is. So these are Lancashire boiler, locomotive boiler, Cochrane boiler, and Babcock Wilcox boiler is the example. Okay, so next classification we have, that is according to the method of circulation of water and steam, means that inside the boiler how the water and steam are circulating on that basis. So that is our natural circulation, and another one is forced circulation. So there is a two kind, natural circulation and forced circulation. What happened in the natural circulation? In natural circulation, that circulation of water is occurs due to the density difference. Keep in mind, natural means there will be density, circulation or flow of water is due to density difference. Okay, and this density difference occurs due to heating of water. As we know that when there is a rise in temperature, the volume of that substance will is increased, and due to increase in volume there is a decrease in density. As a result, what happened that bottom or hot water is moving to top, means due to that there will be flow of water. Okay, due to that there will be a flow of water, and this flow is known as convection, and this called is natural convection, means, and this is our natural convection. So natural circulation means circulation of water is due to density difference, and this density difference is made or is happen due to our heating of water. Due to heating there is a increase in volume, and due to increase in volume there will be decrease in density. So lower density water molecules will go up, and from topmost that higher denser water molecule will go down, and due to that there will be creation of a current, and this current is known as natural convection current. Okay, so let's see the example. So these are coming all boilers except modern high pressure boiler, means almost all kinds of boiler except the modern high pressure boiler. Okay, so then we have forced or mechanical circulation. So forced or mechanical means you can assume that the flow or circulation of water is made by external device, such as we can have pump. Okay, so if the circulation of water is made by external device such as pump, then it's known as forced or mechanical circulation. So example, that all high pressure boiler such as Lamont boiler, Benson boiler, Lofel boiler. Okay, so these are the some example of forced circulation boiler. Next we have according to use, means where we are using this boiler, on that basis we have divided this in two types. One is known as stationary boiler, another one we have mobile steam boiler. Okay, so in stationary boiler what happens that this boiler is kept in one place. Okay, it can't move, so that's why we called it stationary, means static boiler. Okay, so basically this static boiler is used for industrial purpose or in power plant where no need to transport the boiler. Okay, so example, all boilers except locomotive and marine boiler. Locomotive boiler where used or marine boiler, except these two, all boilers are stationary. In mobile boiler means it can move from one place to another place. Okay, so example, we can take locomotive and marine boiler. Okay, so next we have another one that is according to the process of heat, means how the heat is generated, on that basis we have classified. So we can see, we know already that how can we generate or produce the heat. That production of heat is due to the combustion of solid, liquid, gaseous fuel, or we can generate the heat by electrical energy, or we can generate the heat by nuclear energy. Okay, so on that basis we can say that solid fuel boiler, liquid fuel boiler, gaseous fuel boiler, or nuclear boiler. Okay, so this is our, on that basis according to heat, their classification of boiler. Okay, so these are the classification of boiler. Okay, we will see the difference between water tube and fire tube boiler. We have seen that water tube and fire tube boiler. So let's see the difference. What are the differences there? So already first is the definition, that in water tube boiler, water flows through the tubes which are surrounded by the hot gases which coming from the furnace. Okay, on the other hand, in fire tube, the hot gases flows through the tubes and these tubes is surrounded by water. Okay, so this is the definition already we have seen. And in water tube boiler, it generates high pressure, almost up to 160 bar. On the other hand, in fire tube can generate steam up to 24.5 bar. Okay, and since this is generate high pressure, so there is a failure or bursting chances is more for water tube boiler. On the other hand, in fire tube boiler, the bursting chances is less. Okay, then we have the rate of generation of steam is high in water tube, up to 450 tons per hour. Here the rate of generation of steam is low, up to 9 tons per hour. Okay, water tube boiler required floor area is minimum comparative to fire tube. It's about 5 meter square per ton of steam generation. On the other hand, the required floor area is more for fire tube, and this is 8 meter square per ton of steam generation. Okay, so next, the overall efficiency for water tube is almost high, and it is near about 90%. In fire tube it is only about 75%. Okay, it can adjust fluctuating load easily. Is there is a fluctuation of load, means invariantly, then it can adjust easily. On the other hand, it can adjust on fire tube for short time it can adjust, but if the time is means frequently it is varying, then it is difficult for that. Okay, the operating cost for water tube boiler is less. The operating cost is operating cost for water tube boiler is high, and what operating cost for fire tube boiler is low. Already we have seen that bursting charges is more and this is less. Since the high generation of steam, so it is used for large power plant, means water tube boiler can be used for large power plant, and since the generation of steam is low, so fire tube boiler is not suitable for large power plant. Okay, so these are the difference or comparison between water tube or fire tube boiler. Hope you have enjoyed. Okay, so thank you.